Today, society is having a much more open conversation about mental health in New York City schools than it once did not years ago. But the question is whether or not those conversations are having a vast impact on the school community as much as we would like. Will destigmatizing mental health in New York City schools lead to a more progressive generation combating mental health stigmas? The New York City Mural Arts Project aims to help combat those stigmas through their mental health awareness murals located in different parts of New York City, including on the School of Integrated Learning, MS 354.
They looked around in the area, saw our school, and literally just came inside and said, who could we speak to? Important aspects of being a community school is addressing one's social emotional wellness, not just for our students, but for our families and for our staff. We have a good amount of mental health supports in our community, but I feel like in society alone, the conversation of mental health has become a huge topic. And our children have questions about that. What does that mean? What does it mean for your mind to be healthy? What does it mean for your emotions to be healthy?
We work with mental health service providers, and those are the folks that anchor us in the communities that we work in. And then from there, we hire artists as well as peer specialists. And a peer specialist is someone with lived experience that is also certified and trained to support people in their recovery.
Mental health was stigmatized. You see students or people for that matter who have mental health issues. They were just, they're all considered mad, crazy.
This is middle school. You couldn't pay me to be their age again. It was hard. Your body's going through so many things. Your emotions are haywire. You don't know if you're understood. It was important for that to be something that was highlighted.
There's a lot of talk about mental health in ways that we didn't talk about even 10 years, 15 years ago. And to learn about, different art and to actually make art. But through that, we're having these mental health discussions. And I've seen it through these different events that we've hosted across schools. You have parents starting to talk about mental health, how that relates to other family members, their own experiences, that opens them up in a way that can be very fruitful for their children, and also just having that sort of open dialogue.
Paint Fest in our playground where they asked all community members to come and actually start putting color on the mural.
The New York City Mural Arts Project allows the community to get involved through these paint fests that welcome anyone, including very small children of all ages. It is an event that is as fun as it is informative. At these events, there is a designated area known as the paint bar, where people go to get paint in a cup marked with a letter and number like C1. Regardless of how skilled you may or may not think you are at painting, the New York City Mural Arts Project has got you covered. The mural is already outlined and the letters and numbers on the cups filled with paint matches portions of the mural. Just get a brush, a cup of paint with the symbol corresponding to the area you'd like to paint, and you're all set to go.
And then the artist refines that design, and then we present it again. So people can see, their inputs there not only in creating the mural, but also in refining it to make sure it fits on the wall that it will go on.
Many a time you'll see people taking pictures of it. And then when you look at the words on it, it's thought-provoking. You can't help but notice, Plus, it's beautiful. The easiest way of knowing if it's having an impact on them, and we don't really hear them talking about it. So a lot of times we assume that they would see it, which no doubt they see it, and they'll probably think it's beautiful, but I don't think we kind of question them enough to find out what they think.
We were working with SUS, so a lot of their clubhouse members that are mental health peers, where they're helping facilitate the conversation. And one of those members was a former school teacher. And, I found it to be a very transformative experience because she asked a lot of the students, what do you think when you hear about mental illness? And people, were saying, a lot of those sort of tropes where it's like, oh, that's when someone's crazy, or that's when you're feeling really like sad, and just saying a lot of these different things. And she was like asking them more, okay, well, what does that mean? What does it mean? And then she said, what do you think about me? And it's like, oh, like, you're a nice lady. Like, I like you. You're someone that I feel comfortable talking with. And then she then threw that out there. What would you say if I, lived with, a mental health condition or a mental illness, depending on how you want to define it. And the room, you could see the kids' faces, just stop and really think about things.
Somebody by the head holding the flower that's attached to the heart. There's two people in the rib cage holding the heart. There's someone holding that book that says each one teach one. That was something that my dad always said. As people, we are scaffolded and supported by our emotions. We are supported by our faith. We are supported by our family. We're supported by our community. When parts of that support is fractured or non-existent, things fall apart.
After asking Amanda Bernardine about her feelings when the mural was completed, this is how she responded.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this here. Thank you for picking this school, this community to be like a centerpiece of this message. And the pictures and the sketches did it no justice after it was installed. It was breathtaking. Like, when the sunlight hits it, you just want to stand there and stare at it.
More conversations are facilitated in schools around mental health, but a lot of work is still left to be done.
I would like to think we'll be doing more of as we move forward. It's a process. I wish we talked about mental health more when I was, in high school or in elementary school. That wasn't something that was talked about at all. But now I'm going into schools and seeing that. And that, for me as an individual, I'm like, oh, that didn't exist at my school when I was a kid.
Back then, I don't believe a lot of schools had clinics in their buildings. So the tides shifted.